Hello. I'm so glad to see you today and think about you. And I hope that you'll find some pleasure in the story that I've brought for you. I'll tell you one thing uh, that I haven't told anybody because I only started thinking about this story that I wanted to tell this morning. I had another story all planned, and then this story hit me right in the head. And I thought, no, 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 we're going to try that one because I really liked it. So I hope it's pleasure for you. In 1999, my husband and I went to Greece. We went to Greece with a group, and we were going to start off in Athens. None of us, I certainly hadn't, and neither had Jim Shovel, been to Greece, and we were excited, and we had a wonderful, wonderful priest leading us. And he was always interesting, just really on the top of everything. So we knew that we were having a pleasure. One morning, we were scheduled to go down to the uh, water and to get onto a big boat. Now, I didn't read the paper work to check on everything that we were doing. And so the night before, we had been at a dinner, and this woman sitting next to me said, "Are you excited about the boat and our trip on the water?" And I said, "What?" She said, "We're going out on the water for 7 days." And I said, "Are you kidding me?" And she said, "No, I read it on a piece of paper." And I turned around and pinched my husband on his upper arm. And I said, "Did you know that?" He said, "Yeah, didn't you read the papers?" Well, no, I hadn't. I didn't know. I can't swim. And I don't like to be on water, and certainly not for that long as being. And I started to complain, and then he said, "You might as well be quiet because there's not a thing you can do to change that." Oh, so I packed everything and I was ready the next morning when out of the TV in the hotel, CNN put out a weather thing that he just warned everybody, don't go on the water. The weather is coming up. It's getting rougher and rougher all the time. And I heard the rain pouring down outside. I hadn't paid any attention, but now it was first thing I was thinking about. The water, the wind, everything. And I said, "Jim, we can't go on that." And he said, "Always, I've got your suitcase and I'll be on downtown, downside, outside ready to go." So we both got on the bus to take us down to board that boat. And by the time we got there where they were putting everybody on, the boat was bumping and coming back and forth. But you could get in because, you were walking across bridges and you were going in and then you were going inside something. Well, when I looked out the window in the big room where everybody was getting information, they were being told where they were going to sleep, all that stuff, you could see out the big window that the wind was strong because the pool that was on the deck was sloshing water all over the deck. And he said, "Don't worry about it. We can't do a thing about it. Just don't worry about it." And I began, I think, to turn green or yellow or something because in the insides of me, I was sick, very seasick. And a friend of mine looked toward me and handed me some patches to put on my back or wherever Jim thought that it would do its best good. And I put on a couple of those patches and I went down below and went to bed. That was really a good decision that I had done because I went to sleep and I didn't wake up till next morning. And by the next morning, the water was sort of flat and it was peaceful. And I was hungry. So I was ready now to go and to eat some food, which I did with the other people. Some people also looked kind of like I had, but we were all getting around. And I wondered, we were headed toward, um, the place where they were going to take in another boat and have it stick, and they would take you off, and that's where your really interesting tour was going to happen that day on the ground. Well, nothing was called out. They seemed to be sort of, just there, not moving. They were still, they were not moving. And finally, there was another announcement that said, form a line out on the deck. Why, why would we form a line out on the deck? So we looked out there, and there was exactly that, a line of the people who were on that ship were waiting to be able to get off of the boat. And there was not much information until they made an announcement. The water has made the lagoon or place too small for our boat to go all the way in. So we're going to do that another way for you. And we began to hear ropes and things fall down on the side of the boat. Jim, what is going on here? And he said, oh, it's interesting. They are putting down ladders that we can walk down a certain length to the side, not to the water, to the side. And then we'll go in that way on smaller boats that they'll send over. I don't believe that. I don't think I like that. I don't swim. I've never swimmed. Well, that's what it was. We got in line, and Jim was in front of me, and he said, just put your hand on my shoulder and stay attached. And we'll get over there like these other people are doing. They're walking up to the edge. And then when they call them out, they go down on the ladder. And at the end, Ellouise, there's going to be about 1.5 feet between us and the other little boat that's over there waiting for us. And we're going to look and jump. I'm not doing that. I am not going to do. That is the way you're going to get off of this. I don't swim. I am going to catch you. I was even more startled. He had never catched me across a little bit of water before. I didn't know, could he? There was no time to worry about that. He got down ahead of me to the foot of the ladder. He waited until the man on the little boat held out his arm, and then Jim Schoettler jumped onto that boat. And then he turned around and he said, you see, it's going to be easy, and I'll be there to reach out to get you, girl. And I knew that there was no way that I could get out of doing that. I thought of 3 or 4 ways, but there was no way. And so I got up, he raised out his arms, and I closed my eyes and jumped, and he caught me. Well, that was really a wonderful feeling. And I was very excited when that little boat got us to, appear so that we could get off. I didn't question at that time how we were getting back, but we were going to be off. And so we started walking around, and then we had things to see, and it was a little up a mountain, and there were some beautiful little stores. And we passed one, and I said, could we just step in here? Let's see what's in there. And there was nothing really expensive, but I had made something in my heart that I wanted something to wear forever, to prove how wonderful this day had been that I had jumped and that Jim had caught me and that everything had gone well. So I went in and I bought a little silver ring. Well, I always wore it on this finger right here. It was my pride. It was not expensive. It was something I loved. And I thought it would be with me for my lifetime. And you can see that my finger is empty. It was always there until 3 months ago. And my finger was not as fat that day as it usually is. And somehow that ring slid off my finger and disappeared. We were at home. I was at home that day. I feel it when it's not there. I can feel it when it's not there. But I didn't realize it. I was very busy. My daughter was in from out of town. We were doing things and I was diverted and distracted from all the important things. And that evening, I realized that it was gone. Have you ever been sad about something that you really count on, something you love, and something that was part of love? And I started searching my house and searching and searching. My daughter thought maybe she heard it, in the vacuum, but it wasn't there. Took it apart, felt it in all its dirt, and it wasn't in there. And so I didn't have it anymore. I looked in the grass outside. I really looked all the way for it. Tret. I'm still looking. But I wanted to tell that story because it could happen to you. Be careful. Tie whatever it is you love to your hands. Tied. And I still keep praying that I'm going to find my little ring. It's not a rich ring. It was a connecting ring. And I love it. And I'm hoping I shall still find it. If you're on the water, be careful and don't let it get away.